Hello guys, this is Pokemon Legend Tips with another video, and before you move into the real deep, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like. If you have any questions you can ask us in the comments, or even better, join us in Facebook. The link is in the description below. So what we're gonna be doing today is another meta video, and before we actually move in, I would like to tell you guys that the teams that we are going to describe here are not only for endgame, and you have to understand that. People are always asking me what are the teams that we can use in mid-game. You can literally aim for these teams, and if you are lacking a member or something, that's a mid-game team. It's even an early game team. So as long as you are trying to achieve these teams, then yeah, it's all fine and all cool. So as usual, we will go to our teams here and we will try to cover all the teams, of course, all teams that we talked about in old videos. Some of them are still I would say relevant, but not all of them. So we're gonna try to cover everything right now. So let's start with electric team. So with the electric team, of course, the buffer is still the same. So Tapu Koko is still the main buffer for the electric team, and it's gonna be for a very long time, so you can't really get rid of the buffers. So all the buffers are still kind of the same in all the teams. Okay, so buffer done. Koko is still there. For the other sports, things have changed a little bit, and the meta has moved a little bit from the old stuff. So you can put Ash Pikachu. He's super awesome. IV little bit low, but still super powerful. If you give him a Giga set or something like that in endgame, he becomes just super nice. For the other sport, you can put, of course, the classic Arceus with Zapplate. This is the classic electric team member. Wait a second. Sorry, it's gonna be a little bit. You can see that it's all the time saying connecting. That because I'm uploading for the event rating. So yeah, this is the classic electric team from last update. Well, now there is something new. You can swap up Arceus actually, or Ash Pikachu. So one of them might be swapped out with Tundras. So Therian Tundras is another Pokemon that is really worth putting in electric team. So this is the guy we are talking about. This is the Therian Tundras. Really strong Pokemon. He's has a high IV as well as really nice stats, really nice damaging attack. So he moves from a ground controller to a really damage dealer Pokemon. So yeah, so this is some sort of Pokemons that you can use in electric team. The rest is not really worth mentioning right now in this update, so I'm just gonna stick to this update and not talk about the future ones. So I'm just gonna stick to this one. Right now, let's talk a little bit about pseudo electric team. So when we say pseudo, means it's not a full electric team. It's an electric team that is lacking some sort of Pokemon, or yeah, it's lacking some sort of Pokemon. So for pseudo electric teams, you can put Yuxi, for example. She's a support Pokemon. Celebi is another support Pokemon that you can use here. Finny as well is another Pokemon that works with pseudo team that is meta right now. So all these are still meta. Celebi is less of a meta than the others, but yeah, Yuxi is more because she buffs speed, so that's really something that you want in your team. So in all the teams that we're gonna be describing today, so I'm just gonna say it once, guys, and hope that sticks. In all the teams, when we say pseudo team with Yuxi, that fits. Which means if we say bug, pick your choice, bug, water, whatever, pseudo teams with it can fit. Yuxi can fit in it, and Celebi as well. So you're just gonna forget about them right now. So yeah, like I said, you can put Finny. Finny works in there. Steelix as well works in there. So you can put Steelix in there. Where is it? So all these are still meta. Of course, Steelix he must have his second ability unlocked as stamina. You can put Regirock as well. So Regirock is another option. These buff defenses and so on. So yeah, so these are pseudo teams that can work in electric right now as a meta team. Okay, so I think we covered electric team. Let's move into Psy team. Okay, as for Psy team, well, the buffer again is still the same. It's Lele. Yuxi right now is a must. So the meta right now is something like this. So Deoxys, Lele, Yuxi is the meta for Psy team. Of course, like you see it, Deoxys must be in attack form. His speed form is really worthless right now since it has been nerfed. So his attack form is something really worth investing in. You might want to switch to Solgaleo as well. So Solgaleo is another Pokemon that you can switch here and put it so Solgaleo can work as well in this team. So okay, battery saver is on, gone, good. So yeah, so as I said, Solgaleo is another Pokemon that is worth putting in Psy team as a meta. So this is another meta team in Psy. Well, there is other teams that are worth as well. So for example, if you put Meloetta here, even though the Deoxys will tend to remove health sleep, but it's still a team that is really nice. You can put Cresselia instead of Yuxi, but you will lack speed. You will need really some really high raw speed. Okay, so this covers it for Psy team. Sadly, Celebi is not really worth putting in a meta team in end game. So he can be put in mid game or early game, and he's still really important in the game in general. But he's sadly not as worth as Yuxi or some other members in Psy. Okay, so let's move to another team. So let's talk about Bug Team. Okay, Bug Team, another really amazing team right now in the meta. Genesect is a must in there. He's the buffer, and you really want him on his fire drive. Otherwise, he's really easy to kill. You would want with him the classic, which is Arceus Bug. So you want Arceus Insect Plates in there. He's really awesome with that. And you can, did we just switch that? Yeah, we did. And you can add in the third spot again a Pseudo team with Yuxi or Buzzvole for a full Bug team. So you can add Buzzvole, really squishy Pokemon, but really awesome if he can survive the first rounds. You can add Formosa. Formosa is another Bug Pokemon, really worth it if you can work on her defenses a lot. She's squishy as well. Another Pokemon that is worth mentioning is actually Mega Beedrill. So Mega Beedrill again, really high poisoning Pokemon that have really high speed. So this is another Pokemon that is worth mentioning in Bug Team. So meanwhile, you can of course remove Arceus if you want and put it like this. I mean, you can switch out the stuff if you don't have Arceus, but Arceus is really recommended for high input, for high damage output. Okay, so we have talked about Bug Team. Let's talk a little bit about okay, for the Pseudo Bugs, there is some weird formation that you can use. For example, you can put Kyogre here for a Pseudo Bug. So since these guys here are really vulnerable to fire, so Kyogre with his ability to remove fire, to give fire immunity against fire immunity to other Pokemons, will make this team really strong and unkillable, almost unkillable. So yeah, this is another solution that you can do. Okay, so we've talked about Pseudo Bug, and as well as let's talk about ice or water. Yeah, since we have Kyogre here, let's talk about it. So water and ice, there is a lot of teams right now going on in this because water is basically being renovated and it will still be renovated. So you have the classics with Arceus water as well as Yuxi, for example. That's a Pseudo water team that you want to, that is still gonna be available for people. Wait a second, I'm just gonna switch this plate to water so it looks kind of nice. Here we go. So yeah, Pseudo with Yuxi again is perfect, is fine. If you don't have that, Celebi as well. This is, even if still a little bit outdated, but it still can be used. problem with this is that Fireteam is really something that is coming along really strong lately, so you might find a little bit problematic if they have secret support. Other than that, it's okay. So as I said, this is okay. Another water team that you might want to try in meta, that is in endgame, is this one, Keldeo. So Keldeo is another really strong Pokemon, fighting water. He's really awesome, and you can really try him in endgame with in this setup. He'll do just fine. Okay, so this is one. For some weird setups that you want to try, you can add Toxapex here instead. She's really nice. But she needs a lot of defenses since she's really easily killed. So that's another meta team you want to try. You can add Volcanion as well. So this is another Pokemon that might be used in endgame, even though I personally don't like him. Okay, so this basically covers water teams. Yeah, there is not much you can add in here for water. If you want to try Finny or some other basically setups, it might work, it might not, but because basically the Finny buff here would be basically wasted on her. So yeah, so this is stuff that you have to consider. For ice teams, since you use the same buffer, well, Ice Team is kinda lacking lately, and it's going down, really down. So you still have BNV, but Black and White Curm, but it's still really lacking right now. It's going down, like I said. There's a lot of Pokemon that can actually win this, so I would not recommend Black and White Curm as a top tier team. It will be in maybe 2-3 months maximum a team, since most can kill it really easy right now, unless it has really high power. Okay, so this is done for ice team. Let's talk a little bit about ground teams. So for ground team, you still have, okay, let's include ground and fire together because they basically okay, let's just talk about ground. So for ground, you still have Kyogre, or Groudon, sorry. So you still have Groudon as the main buffer. Really awesome guy. For the other two spots, I would actually start with the important thing. So Arceus here, ground plates. Of course, Arceus is a part of every team, and he will still be a part of every team in the future as well, since he's really good damager. So yeah, this is endgame team, and you can either put Cynthia Garchomp if you have him. Probably only one have him right now. You can put Steelix as well. You can put Mega Steelix. I think he's somewhere here. So yeah, you can put Mega Steelix. This is a ground team that can work in meta. You can put Zigrad, even though he's used a lot in support right now. You can put Therian Lundrus in his the form. Wait a second, this is it. He will be decent damager to put in ground team. You can put I think that's pretty much it in ground. Yeah, that covers ground Pokemons. You can use, for example, pseudo ground teams again with Yuxi and this guy here, Steelix, for example, and or even put Regirock as a in pseudo ground. Wait a second, this guy here, you can put it. So these might still be endgame teams. Okay, now that we've talked about ground, let's move a little bit into fire team. So fire is the new trend lately. So later, of course, they're gonna be fire Arceus, so that's gonna be even better. But for now, Ho-Oh is still in there. Of course, you can put Volcanion, so this is a fire team that might be worth it. You can put Victini instead of this guy, but you do need a lot of good set on Victini to improve his hit, maybe Giga set. You can put where is this guy? I don't actually have him, but the best team that I actually think that is mashup between ground and fire, and which is Hedren. So I don't have him, sadly. So I have to go look for him to show it. So there's some people that actually don't know it yet. So Hedren is this guy right here. He's steel fire. So this guy here, his steel fire, really awesome. So the team that I'm going to recommend is Hedren in this spot and Mega Steelix in here. So this team is actually the best right now in terms of meta. Hedren with his fire moves is super cool, and with Steelix in there as well, that is steel, it's really super nice meta team. In the future there will be a lot of switching. Steelix can be removed and Fireplate, for example, Arceus can move in, and some sort of switch up will happen later. Okay, so that's another team you might want to consider. And since we are here, there's some few teams that are worth mentioning, which is having these two guys together with Volcanions. This Volcanion use both fire and water team. You can really make this work in theory if you really concentrate on all of them. They have really high IV, and they can really be a good team. The problem is against the electric team, your Groudon must be really powerful to actually win the fight on his own, since these two will die relatively really quickly. Anyways, yeah, so let's move on into Fae teams. Okay, almost forgot about that. So about Fae, there is basically not a lot of new things. Fae is a little bit stagnating in terms of power. There is the introduction of Fae Arceus that is without a doubt really helping the Faes right now, since he actually, I think he's a must right now in Fae team in order to compete with the rest. He is a must. So the best team that I think right now in meta is this one, Xeneras in there, Tapu Fini and Arceus. So right now this is the best team you can find in Fae, and the main reason is Arceus passive that gives speed to the whole crew right here. So if you remove Arceus and you put Diancie, which was the last Fae team, then you lose in speed, and you have to have a lot of speed. So for example, Psy team has a lot of speed due to Yuxi. So in order to basically cover that gap in between the two, you need Arceus phase to have more damage. Also, this is kind of weak right now because of steel Pokemons becoming more and more frequent. Okay, so the other possible teams that you can use is to put, for example, Diancie and Coco. So Fini move makes everyone turn into water, and Coco does rest, or here you put Arceus or some sort of or even Xeneras, that would work. Okay, so some people actually like to use Bulu, which will become later on an important Pokemon due to the EM changes. Okay, so this covers Fae teams. Let's move into the new meta teams that have actually showed up, which are fighting teams. So for fighting teams, we do have an Arceus as well in a fighting plate. Where is the guy? Fighting plate, I think I have a +8 one. Here we go. So for this, actually, Arceus is not in the main team. We have the Sword of Justice. So mainly these guys here, so Cobalion, Vasion and Keldeo. So this is the main, I would say, team right now in fighting. This is the full Sword of Justice team, and please concentrate with us here. This is the full Sword of Justice team. This is not a sacrifice team, as of to say. It's not a full sacrifice, it's just a Sword of Justice. Okay, so yes, you can switch up Vasion to Terrakion, or one of them. If you don't have, you can put this as well if you don't have Keldeo, but the best I would say is this one right now, for the main reason that Keldeo gives rage and speed, and Vasion removes speed and debuff, and Cobalion does the rest. So this is a really good team here, and has a lot of synergy. Okay, as I said, you can put you can put Vasion in there. You can put even Fighting Arceus. You can put Buzzvole. You can put Lucario. You can put Famosa. So this is the new trend right now in the meta. So these teams are really nice, and they are good against a lot of teams out there. So let's forget about this and let's talk about sacrifice. So now sacrifice, what the sacrifice means that you're gonna put 2 Sword of Justice, for example, and you're gonna leave them really weak and for them to die first. Then you can put with some really awesome Pokemon in here that you have full build, for example, and the Pokemons that actually are meta right now are either Genesect, because he can do both P-Attack and special attack damage, or Mewtwo X. I sadly don't have Mewtwo X. I do have Mewtwo. Where is this guy? So here he is. So in his Mega Evolution, so this is the guy that you want, Mewtwo X. This is another awesome team. You can put Fighting Arceus, you can put Rock Arceus. This is basically the meta right now for sacrifice teams. You can put Famosa as well. Some use Meloetta for her sleeping abilities, Buzzvole as well for his poison. Against water teams you can use Electric Pikachu, Ash Pikachu. So there is a lot of stuff that you can use right now with sacrifice. Okay, let's move. Of course, yeah, I just remembered that I did not include Hoopa in the meta teams for Fae Teams, but to be honest, that's a meta team that only few are gonna be using. Actually, there are quite a few right now. I think there are 10 people with Hoopa right now. So yeah, I will talk about him later. So yeah, this is the sacrifice team that you want to be using in the current meta. Okay, so let's talk about the rest. What else are we missing? Do we have any more? Grass teams. Yeah, for grass team in meta, you want to have Bulu in there, of course, but to be honest, grass teams are gonna be a little bit weak right now with the rise of fire. So and you would want Celebi or maybe Arceus in his grass plate. So you would want Arceus with his grass plate. So if you put grass plate in here, I'm actually doing this and not only saying it because there's a lot of people that don't understand whatever I'm saying because they don't understand English, and showing them is much better. So this is another, of course, Vasion need to be full built. So this is another pseudo grass or even grass team. Celebi is still good there. So yeah, those are really worth mentioning. Okay, so we talked about that. Electric, Ice. For Dragon, we don't have a good team right now, neither for Dark. That will come later. Ghost team is actually meta as well. So from Ghost team, you have the Buffer, which is Origin Giratina, really awesome Pokemon. You have Sableye, which is another awesome Pokemon that you can use as well. His meta in his Mega, and you can put here either Lunala, or you can put Mimikyu, or even better, you can put Arceus in his Ghost Plate. So this is another meta team. Yes, if you actually build this right, it is really awesome team. Where is it? Yes, Poke Plate. So this is another meta team that you can actually use. So this is pretty much it for Ghost. Poison, sadly, we do not have a poison team in meta right now, but there is some sort of workaround that you can use, which is basically you can put, okay, Nino gonna be really happy. You can put Toxapex, Sableye, where is this guy? Mega Sableye, and you can put Buzzwole, but this really this does not have a lot of synergy. Also, you need a lot of speed, a lot of defenses as well on this team, so I would not recommend it for people that don't have a lot of resources, to be honest. So and it will be really weak against some sort of electric team. Electric team would actually wreck this, so let's not recommend it that much, but he did win Champions League with it, so I'm including it, of course. Another meta team that you can use that use poison is basically using this guy here, Guzzlord, with some sort of defense buffer like Regirock would work fine, and with some other probably good support such as either Steelix, or you can put Lele, or you can put Yuxi. So this is of course not full poison team, since we don't have a poison buffer for now. Now let's talk about rock teams with Terrakion, Regirock and Diancie. So that might work in endgame. You could switch Diancie actually for a better Pokemon, which is Rock Arceus, since he is the main buffer right now for rock. Where is my stone plates? It's somewhere, should be +9, yes. So this is it's a good team actually, to be honest. This is a really good team. You can switch maybe Terrakion for Diancie, you can switch Regirock for Diancie depending on what you have. So this is really what's happening right now in rock teams. You can add Larvitar as well. Tyranitar might work, but he's mainly support right now, but he might actually work since he spams his hell with Arceus and with support system. That is just super nice. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of stuff right now, so let's talk a little bit about the pseudo teams that you can have as well, because there's a lot of pseudo teams that you can have as well. So what is meta right now is Water Kyogre, Genesect. Believe it or not, this will actually work. So where is Cobalion? So this would work, since these people are actually right now really weak to fire, but with Kyogre there, he makes everyone really super powerful. You can add Keldeo in there as well, instead of Cobalion, or you can add it here instead of Genesect. So this but will work as well in endgame. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I think we've covered everything except Hoopa. So Hoopa, well, Hoopa guys is Hoopa. So he will be great in any team. So if you have him, you're pretty much set. So if you want to be super awesome, you can have maybe Lele, Hoopa, with Mesprit. So this is another Pokemon that I forgot to mention. Where is it? Mesprit. So Mesprit has not been fixed. I would say not fixed. Deoxys was nerfed, so he was the problem, but Mesprit is still giving rage on the first turn. So other teams that you can use is some sort of something like this. So this would be an endgame team, but it's really easy to disable if the enemy has some sort of base or healing metal, whatever. It's really easy to disable. So this is not really recommended. You could of course switch Cresselia by the dragon here, which is Reikyu to debuff everything. So this might work as well, but I would not recommend this sort of team, since they do require a lot of work and the enemy and a lot of circumstances. So you do need the enemy to be kind of slow or doesn't have a good build and so on. Another team that we have forgotten to mention is actually Guardians of the Lake. So this is still meta as well. So this is still can be used as a sacrifice, not sacrifice, but as a suicide team. So Azelf in there blows herself, and Mesprit does provide rest, and Yuxi provide the healing. You could use as well here instead of this. You can use, there's another Pokemon that actually does a lot of damage, which is Victini. So Victini with these two do work. So Victini with Yuxi as well work as well. So this kind of pseudo teams do work as well. So there is actually a lot of teams right now that might work, since there is a lot of skills that actually been revamped and been improved. So I hope I covered everything. If I did actually forgot something, we're gonna include it in a second part, and hopefully you guys have liked this. Then we will meet later with another meta team video. Cheers guys.